And give yourself a moment to arrive. Taking a minute in this wintering season to let your mind and your breath come into the same space. And notice how you feel. Notice any spinning or distractedness. And with your body, find a spot in your body that feels settled and connect with that. And I think today's theme will be listening to your body and recognizing the wisdom that's in our body. Very often we override it and we make decisions with our heads and not with our hearts or our sacrum or the places in our body where we know things. And we might know later that it's out of alignment, but can you connect to those parts of your body today that know things? And so once again, find a comfortable seat. And you all might laugh at me, but as you know, I hurt my ankle a few weeks ago falling down the stairs. And it was doing great until I was on the beach on Friday and I stepped into some soft sand. And so now when I sit here, it's not happy. So I'm going to modify, and it's something I always encourage all of you to do also. Listening to your body and modifying and adapting as needed. So coming back to your body, find those spots that feel steady and stable. And if there's something in your body that's keeping you distracted from those spots, adjust and reconnect. And with intention, find your sit bones and root them downward in the most rooted possible way. And tilt your pelvic bowl forward and grow your spine tall, letting your heart shine forward. Take in a big drink of breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let it feel amazing. And bring a hand to heart and a hand to belly this morning. Notice what feels more centered. Where do you have more information? As you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Using this as a practice to reconnect with your sense of knowing. For those of us in medicine, we were taught to step out of our body sense of knowing and into our head sense of knowing, and into procedures and protocols and guidelines. And somewhere along the line, we lose that ability to make decisions from the heart and from the belly and from, for many of us, our sacrum, from our inner sense of knowing. We lessen that trust in ourselves. And can you take a few moments here to reconnect to that sense of knowing, where you find it? With practice, we can re-find it. And with eyes closed, if that's okay for you, one hand on heart, one hand on belly, sacrum on the earth. Take a moment to listen. Where does your body have wisdom? And if you have a sense of something being out of alignment, just make note of it. Come back to the breath. Pour the breath into the palmar surface of your hand under your heart. And let it flush out through the nose. And breathing in once again, send it to the palmar surface of your hand on your belly, all the way down into the belly. Let your belly rise and exhale, let it out long, smooth, and easy. And take a moment in this lovely spot. Enjoy how it feels. Enjoy this moment of ease and potentially some peace and connection. Connection to you, to your wisdom, to the earth, and maybe to all of the other beautiful humans joining us this morning. Maybe connection to the beautiful humans in our lives. And a sense of connection to all humans everywhere in our shared desires to live happy and healthy lives, even though we may have different ideas of what that looks like. And we will bring our hands together, run them together, create some heat and energy for those of us low on energy, faster and faster and faster, creating a lot of heat. And press your thumbs into your sternum. Fingers reach to the sky, elbows out wide, little pressure on the palmar surface, and connect with all those pressure points to yourself. And make a wish or an intention or an aspiration for this next hour and for potentially the day ahead and maybe the week ahead, maybe this month ahead, or maybe the year ahead. What might that look like? And how might it encompass a bit more of knowing? Taking in a big deep breath, send the breath to the thumbs and the sternum together, pressing in together, sharing that energy. And a huge long exhale release. And we'll lower our hands and open our eyes and just notice how you feel. And come off your block. We're going to come straight to hands and knees today. You can have your blocks at the top of your mat if you wish to use them. And come to hands and knees and take a moment to find your steadiness. Spread your fingers wide, palmar surfaces flatten to the mat. Elbows engage and shoulders engage into the shoulder sockets. If your wrists are cranky, come up to your fists. Inhale for cow and wake up your spine. Crown of the head reaches forward and your heart shines forward. Enjoy the front of your belly. Exhale, round into cat. Bathe your spine with movement, waking up, inviting energy with the inhale and the cow. And exhale, rounding your navel all the way up to the sky, reconnecting with all these tiny parts of your body that we ignore most of the time. Inhale for cow, draw in the energy. And exhale, suck your belly all the way up to the sky. Drop your head, letting go of the stale stuff, low energy, heaviness. Inhale once more for cow. In cow, gaze over the right shoulder and sway your right hip towards you. Exhale to the other side, gaze to the left, left hip comes forward towards you. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. Do that a few times. Enjoying these tiny little spots in the waist and the hips that you may have long ago forgotten about. Come back to center when you are complete. And flatten palms to the floor if you're on your fists. Walk your hands forward and we'll curl up to downward dog. And walk that dog. Wake up the backs of the legs. Let your head sway. Let this be the slow wake up that we usually do seated, but doing it upside down and upright. Perhaps lift up onto all 10 toes and lower your heels to the floor. Let it feel amazing. Lift up onto your tippy toes. Drop your heels to the left. Bend your left knee and enjoy your right waist and right leg. Big inhale, lift back up to tippy toes. Switch your heels to the opposite side. Bend the right knee straight the left and enjoy that left side. Parts of you may not know are there. Reconnecting to the breath and to you. Come back to the center, lifting up high on your tippy toes, lower heels to the earth. And notice the sensations. Gaze through your legs, look at the view.
Inversions are intended to shift your perspective. Letting this yoga practice today shift your perspective, shift your energy. Yoga is much more than exercise, it's much more than mindfulness. It's a blend of all these things. And as I like to teach it, it's mindset. Walk your hands towards your feet about a foot. Lower the heels to where they go, and you'll bring your left hand to your right ankle and gaze under your right shoulder. And enjoy that release. Huge breath in and out. Bring your left hand back to the floor and switch sides. Right hand to left ankle. Enjoy the energy shifts. Come back to center. Walk your hands forward a smidge and your feet back a little bit. Find steadiness. All 10 fingers and flatten the palms. Bend your knees so your shins are parallel to the floor and you'll be hanging out here. It takes some energy. Noticing the heat and the energy, noticing your toes stretch. Maybe have a little bounce here. And breathe. Shoot your hips up and release. Let it feel good. Walk your hands forward, another little smidge. Find a steady spot is key here, wherever your steady spot is. Root your left foot down, engage your belly and your center, that spot that feels very centered. And inhale, raise your right leg to the sky. Roll your ankles, hips are squared front for the moment, rolling in both directions. Big inhale. Exhale, draw your knee to nose, shift your weight into your hands. And exhale, shoot all the way back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, shoot it back. Let it be a little bit of a rock. Enjoy your glute wake up. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, reach it back. Stay with it reaching long. Bend your knees, stack your hips, and roll your ankle in either direction. Re-square your hips. Reach your foot all the way back. Huge inhale. Exhale, bring that knee between your hands. We're going to come into a proud pigeon. Sitting upright. Untuck your back toes and enjoy your hips. Reach the crown of your head to the sky. You may have a little arch in the back. Notice what happens when you reach your left hip towards the floor. If this doesn't work for you, hang out in downward dog. Perhaps do some more of the knee to nose. Enjoy that left hip flexor here for 2 more breaths and your right hip. Reaching upward. You can also use blocks and reach upward even more if that feels good. Plant your hands, curl your toes, and untangle. Come back to downward dog. Have a rock and a sway on your hips. Root your right foot downward. Engage all 5 toes. Inhale, raise your left leg to the sky. Roll the ankle, 3-legged dog. Press your heel to the back wall. Inhale, bring your knee to nose. Exhale, shoot your foot upward with energy. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, shoot your foot up with energy. And once more, round your back, suck your navel, and stretch. Release your head, shake it yes and no in 3-legged dog. Bend your knees, stack your hips, roll your ankle. Re-square your hips, extend your leg. Huge breath in. Exhale, come into pigeon on this side. Proud pigeon, the upright pigeon. Being kind to your hips and your knees. If something hurts, readjust. And enjoy the left outer hip,
the right hip flexor, perhaps rock a little on the hips gently. Don't overdo it. You can play with where your heel is. Some of you may want your heel more in the center of your groin, and some of it may want it on the right outer edge of the mat. Notice what feels good. And as we're in proud pigeon, press fists into the floor, arch your back slightly, heart shines forward, crown of the head reaches to the sky. Different than sleeping pigeon. Big breath in, pouring it all the way into your belly. Waking up those parts deep in the belly and the pelvic region that have wisdom. Inhale, press into your fists, grow a little bit taller, press your back foot into the mat. Exhale, release. Flatten your palms, untangle, come back to downward dog. And have a walk here on your heels. Let it feel good, creating a little bit of heat. Find steadiness. Shift forward to plank. You may need to adjust your feet or your hands. And find your center here. Let it feel really good. Find that spot where maybe you're shaking, but you're also strong. Drop heels to the right. Reach your right arm up, coming into side plank. If you need to bend your knee, you can do that. Reach your right arm over your right ear. Roll your wrist. Letting the energy move here. And notice in this position, what feels steady? What do you know? Reach that arm back up to the sky, come back to plank, and we'll switch to the opposite side. Heels to the right, left hand reaches to the sky. Reach it over your ear. Stretch, enjoy, feel strong. Be kind to your wrists. You can do all of that at the same time. Reach your left hand to the sky. Come back to plank. Shift forward onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, and roll down chaturanga to the floor. Wrap your elbows in towards you. Forehead rests on the floor. Take a moment here to connect the whole front side of your body with the earth underneath. Take a moment to listen. Notice if there's any wisdom here with eyes potentially closed or not seeing much as they face the floor. Weight is out of your hands. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. Inhale, gaze upward, heart shines forward. Let it feel really good. Exhale, lower down. Inhale once more. Lift up, gaze forward, heart shines forward, perhaps a little bit higher. Plant the front of your hips into the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes, press up and back to downward dog. And take your time here. And just notice, pause and notice. If it's comfortable, close your eyes. Reconnect with your breath. And potentially checking in with yourself here. Is there any wisdom upside down in this awkward position with your eyes closed that you can access, that you've been perhaps ignoring? Huge breath in and out. Ground the ball mound of the right foot into the earth. Spread your fingers wide, plant your palmar surface. Inhale, raise your left leg to the sky. Exhale, gently bring it between your hands. We're going to come into low lunge. You can use blocks or not. And if you need a blanket for your knee, grab that. Be kind always. If you have blocks, I recommend them. You can have your fists on them if your wrists are tender. We did a lot of being on our wrists already. Or rest your hands lightly on the front thigh. Notice what feels best to you today. Huge breath in and readjust your knees, your toes. Close eyes and allow yourself to sink in here. I call it dropping into your body. There's so much wisdom there. Can you lean into it, learn from it? If it would feel good, raise both arms to the sky. If it would feel good, open your arms out and circle them, reclasp them at your sacrum, and stretch your shoulders down and back. This is a big stretch for the right hip flexor, so don't overdo it. Release hands, lower them back to the blocks, and ease back a little bit. Straight that front knee, come into a half splits, and just enjoy the back of the left leg. Wiggle your toes, point your toe. Flex your ankle. Lower the front toes to the floor. Curl your back toes and lift up into a high lunge. Use the blocks here if you wish. Square your hips to the front. Place your right hand on the floor or a block and twist to the left, coming into an easy twist. Drop that left hand into the right hip crease and gaze up. Reach your hand to the sky. Lower your hand to the floor. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Lower your back knee. We're going to come into lizard pose. You can be high up, which is what I do for lizard on the order of proud pigeon. Some of you may want to come down lower, but I encourage you to stay up today. Notice what you feel here. Perhaps rock side to side. Gift yourself a horse's breath, where you let out that horsey noise. Just letting it go. A little bit like a raspberry, but not as forceful. Roll onto the outer edge of that left foot if you have more room, and notice what happens when you sway your knee out a little bit to the left. Come back to center. You'll bring your left hand to the outer edge of the left foot. Walk the left foot back to center. And if you have the blocks, keep them handy. Curl your back toe. Hop your foot forward facing the front, coming into a long triangle or a long pyramid. Both feet are facing front. And enjoy the back of the left leg. Shift your weight forward and back. Lift up the front toes when you go back. Lower them to the floor as you lift your left back heel. Come to stillness. Lower the back heel where it lands. Come to a half lift. Back is flat and your heart shines forward. Huge breath in here. Your belly is engaged. Big breath. Lower your head over that front leg. Hop your back foot forward. You'll bend your front knee. Hop it forward all the way to the top of the mat. Sink back into chair pose. Hands can be at heart center. Your rear end's going to just sit down. Lift up your front toes. Make sure your weight is in the four corners of your feet and the heels, and have a bounce. If you wish, extend your arms long in front. Gaze forward. Your heart shines forward. Wiggling fingers. Bring hands back to heart center. Lower your hands, shoot your hips up, come to a forward fold. Potentially widen your feet a bit, bend your knees and sway, release your back. Place left palm on the earth, bend your left knees, right arm reaches to the sky, right leg is straight.
And switch sides. Bend the right knee, left hand reaches to the sky, left leg is straight. Come back to center. Engage your belly and unroll vertebrae by vertebrae until you come to stand. And take a moment to let things adjust. Lift up all 10 toes, lower them down, root them downward. Draw up the earth's energy right into your pelvic girdle, into your belly. Heart is light. Grow each vertebrae one atop the other. Crown reaches to the top of the head. Huge breath in. Exhale, palms open to the front. Let the energy out. Come into mountain pose or Tadasana. And take a moment here, eyes closed if that's available to you. And connect with you and your inner knowing. Take a moment to notice where it is that you have the most steadiness, information. It might be the soles of your feet. It might be your belly. Might be your heart space. And bring a hand to heart, another hand to top. Connecting with that heart space. Honoring whatever wisdom is there. Sending yourself some love and kindness, and sending everyone here some love and kindness, and sending love and kindness out into the world to anyone who needs it. There's this animal rescue farm down the street from me here at Nicasio Creek Farm, and it's called Rancho Compasión. And they had a fair yesterday, and their motto is "Let love roam," which I love. So let that love roam out across the world to whoever needs it. Huge breath in, sending it to the palmar surface of the bottom hand. Bathing your heart with breath. Exhale, let it out. And notice that top hand on the bottom hand, rubbing skin to skin, an active practice of melting some of the cortisol, changing your physiology, changing the neurochemicals. Remembering this practice is available whenever. Come to stillness, press into the heart space, and check in there for a bit of wisdom. And we'll lower our hands and open our eyes. Lift up all 10 toes, lower them down. Inhale your arms out and up. Bringing fingers, interlacing fingers, and the index fingers steepled. Root your feet, grow as tall as you can. We're going to do crescent moon once more because the winter crescent moon's still fabulous out there if you haven't seen it yet. Huge breath in, grow as tall as you can. Exhale, tilt to the right. Enjoy the left side body. You can rest your ear on that right upper arm. Allow yourself to tilt a little more. Inhale back to center. Exhale, tilt to the left. Slowly, and a little more. Exhale, let it out. Come back to center. Release your hands. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Press your fists down and back, shoulders down and back. Have a little shimmy with the shoulders. Drop chin to chest and enjoy the release. Notice any tugging. Make sure it's comfortable. Don't overdo this. Come back to center and release your hands. Shake them out. Shake your body out. Inhale, arms out and up. Once again, your palms will come together. Forward fold towards the earth. Inhale for half lift. Hands can come to shins or the block. Rear end sticks out towards the back. Exhale, fold forward.
Inhale for a half lift once again, letting that flow happen a bit. Exhale, lower down. Find your belly. Inhale your arms out and up once again, circling round, coming back together at the top and drip them down to heart center. Pause here for a moment. Notice how you feel. Come back to the breath. Connect with your inner knowing, the parts of you that have wisdom. Maybe it's your toes, the soles of your feet. Maybe it's the thumbs on your heart space. Maybe it's your belly. Close eyes and just take a moment here to enjoy. Lower hands, open eyes, reach your arms out and up once again. Hands come together, drip down the front to a forward fold. Inhale for that half lift. Enjoy the movement in the spine. Exhale, lower to the earth. Plant hands, step back to plank. And find here your center. You can shift your weight around until you find it. Rock forward and back and forward and back. Shift your weight forward, lower down chaturanga to the earth. If you wish to come up through up dog today, you can, or lower down low cobra. And come back, we'll meet in downward dog. Curl toes, press into your hands. Come up to down dog. Enjoy it. And you will raise your right leg this time. Huge inhale. Exhale, bring it between your hands. Come into low lunge. Use the blocks if you have them. Use a blanket if you need it. Arch and stay upright here today. Your hands can be on your thighs or on blocks to start. Enjoy the hip flexor. Close eyes and settle into your body here. Notice what you notice. Practice noticing. If it would feel good, raise your arms to the sky. Wiggle fingers, let it be light. There's lots of sensations and energy shifting. Invite the shifts with the lightness in your fingers, perhaps lightness in both sets of toes. When you're ready, reach arms out and recross them at your sacrum, shoulders down and back, remembering to be kind. Do what works for your hip flexor here. It may work better or worse than the other side. Bring hands back to the blocks. Shift your weight back to half splits. Enjoy the back of that right leg. Take your time here. Point your toe. Flex your ankle, toes come towards your knee. See if you want to bend your elbows and shift forward. Doing it lightly, enjoying the give and take and movement here. Point your toe. Flex your ankle, toes come to your knee, not your nose. And we'll shift the sole of the foot back to the floor. Walk the blocks forward. Curl the back toe, lift up to high lunge. And take a moment here to find your grounding. Find your hips. Back toes connect to the earth. All four corners of the front foot connect to the earth. Lift up all 5 front toes. Lower them down one at a time. Lower the left hand block, or if you don't have a block, place your hand on the earth. Plant your palm and twist to the right. Come into what they call an easy lunge. May or may not be easy. Roll your wrists, let it feel amazing. Bring your hands back to the blocks. Lower your back knee, untuck your toes. You'll bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Come into a high lizard. Use the blocks to stay up. Let your heart shine forward. Roll onto the outer edge of that right foot. Connect to the pelvis area. Lots of knowing there, lots of creativity. Our authenticity is in there, rocking your weight from hand to hand. Notice any wisdom there, or maybe there's just a release needed to let go of all the stuff you're holding tight, all the shoulds and supposed tos and judgment, and just nudging it loose, inviting a little space. When you've had enough, roll onto the sole of your foot. You'll take the block, bring it to the outer edge of that right foot, or if you don't have a block, that's also fine. Uncurl, curl your back toe, lift up your knee, come to high lunge, and we'll straight our front leg and come to a long, what do you call this? Pyramid. Having a menopause moment. Enjoy your long pyramid. Shift your weight forward and back onto tippy toes, onto heels to the degree that you can. Let it be light. Inhale for a half lift. Your back is flat. Huge breath in. Exhale, bend your elbows a little bit, fold forward over that front leg. Let it feel really good. And pause and listen. There are some birds outside here making a total racket. I don't know what they're doing, but it's a peaceful racket, but really singing, calling each other. Notice what you notice, what sounds you notice, what you see, what you feel. Bend your back knee, hop your foot forward, a footprint or two, and then all the way forward into a forward fold. Bring your hands to your sacrum. Your knees will stay bent. Shoot your fists to the sky. Allow your hands to fall over your head and enjoy the fronts of your shoulders. Perhaps waggle. Let it get comfortable. Bend your right knee, straight your left, turn to the left. Bend your left knee, straight your right, turn to the right. Close eyes, let yourself be in your body and notice what's happening. Bend both knees, come back to center, and let the hands fall forward a smidge more. Huge breath in here. Into the shoulder area. Exhale, let it out. Bring your hand to your sacrum. Slide it down the backs of your legs. Engage your belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch by inch, all the way to stand. Your head will be the last to rise. Pause here and enjoy it. Notice what feels good. Wiggle hands, wiggle toes. We're going to come from here into a yogi squat. You can use a block or not. Coming onto your tippy toes. Some of you will be able to land on your heels. It's anatomic, it's not a flexibility issue. Allowing your seat to head to the earth and play with your feet in hand position a little bit. Don't be stuck here. Bring palms together. Excuse me. Press your elbows into your knee and your thumbs into your sternum. And close eyes for a moment here. For many of us, the yogi squat is full of information and wisdom. If you're in it too far, it will not be full of any wisdom. It will be full of pain. So find the spot where you can close your eyes and rest and listen. Press elbows into your knees if you wish. May help with stability as well. Plus hands together may help with stability. Plus thumbs into your sternum may help you. And close eyes and notice information, maybe behind your thumbs, maybe in your groin area, maybe in the balls of your feet or your toes. Notice. Open eyes. Plant your right hand on the earth, fist or palm, and reach your left hand to the sky, coming into a twist. If you can or want to, bring your left hand into the right hip crease and gaze towards the left. You'll notice little tiny subtle movements make a big shift. Reach your left hand to the sky and lower the left hand to the inside of the left knee, fist on the earth. Raise your right arm to the sky. Wrap the right hand into the left hip crease if that feels good and gaze over the right shoulder. You notice your weight will shift a little, play with it. Reach your right hand to the sky. Lower your hand back to the earth, elbows to the inner knees and palms come together, thumbs to sternum. Take a moment here. Close eyes once again and listen. Lower hands. Turn your toes to the front, heels straight back, come into a forward fold and release. You may want knees straight, you may want knees bent, you may want to alternate them, have a sway, let it feel really good. If you have blocks, we're going to come into a inversion here. Stack your blocks and put your forehead on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, can you put your forehead on a couch cushion or a chair? And take a moment here, upside down in an inversion, with that forehead pressing on something. Noticing what happens when your mind is more quiet and calm. This is a great position for if you're feeling anxious or stressed. Head down, pressing the third eye into something. For many people, they get a lot of knowing here. I don't. I get calm. No knowing, just calm. We're all different. So if you don't, it's just you. You have different wisdom. I get wisdom from sitting on my sacrum or hand to heart. But closing my eyes and pressure on the third eye very much helps in quieting the monkey mind or the vritti, the chatter, if you find you need that. Lower hands and remove the blocks. Find your belly, your center, knowing where that is, remembering that you know where center is and what it feels like. Use the center to unroll inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise. And readjust your feet in a way that feels good. Take a moment to let things reorient. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. And bring a hand to heart and hand to belly. Huge breath in. Send the breath to the palmar surface of both hands. And a huge exhale. Let both hands fall. And we'll lower our hands and come to lie down on the earth. You can arrive on the earth any way you wish. Sacrum on the floor, and I encourage today feet on the floor, knees bent, palms facing down. Close eyes if that feels okay to you. And let yourself melt. Pour the breath into any spots that want some breath into fingers and toes. Hug your knees into your chest. Use your belly here to guide them. Wrap arms around the shins and rock, massage your sacrum. When you feel complete, come to center. Bring your hands behind your thighs and raise both feet to the sky. Flex your ankles. Use your belly here. Release your hands and have your hands reach up to the sky also. Wiggle fingers and toes. Pause in stillness. Find your center. Huge breath in. Exhale, extend left leg and right arm. Inhale, bring them back. Exhale, right leg, left arm. Inhale, bring them back. Exhale, opposite side. Using your belly here, try to stay out of your hip flexors. Reconnect to that inner center, melting the sacrum into the floor, the back of your belly button into the floor. We'll do one more on each side. And last one. Come back to center. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Bring your hands back behind your thighs. Drop your left foot to the floor. Bring both hands behind the right thigh. Flex your ankle, press your heel to the sky. Point your toe to the sky. Floss that nerve. Flex and point. And once more, flex and point. Bend that knee, place the right ankle over the left knee, and you'll thread your hands behind the left thigh, lift your foot up, come into figure four. Flex both ankles to be kind to your knee and have a rock. Potentially bring both hands to your shins if you have room and want to. Rock and enjoy it. Come to stillness. Enjoy dropping into your body here. Hopefully, at this point in the class, you may know what that feels like. Roll that left ankle in either direction. Come to stillness once again, drop in. Practice the dropping in. It's how we connect to what we know, who we are, making decisions from an authentic and aligned place rather than a should or supposed to. Release your hands from your shin, lower your left foot. Bring your arms overhead into an easy cactus shape. Drop your knee, the right sole of your foot to the left and the left knee to the floor. We're going to come into a figure four twist. For those of you who know it, I love this one. If you have room, gaze to the right. Let it feel good. Bring your gaze back to center and your knees back to center. Reorganize your sacrum and your shoulders. Uncross your knee, lower the right foot to the floor.
Draw your left knee in, bring your hands behind the left thigh, extend that left foot to the sky. Point the toe and flex the toe. Point your toe and flex your toe. Let it feel really good. Bend your knee. Bring the left ankle atop the right knee. Thread your hands behind the right thigh and come into figure 4 on this side. Let this one feel really good today. Close eyes and drop into your body. Notice what your ankles want, what your knees want, what your hip wants. Let that guide you. And when this feels complete, release your hands, lower your foot to the floor. Arms come to the cactus and drop to the right. Right outer knee lands on the floor, left sole of the foot lands on the floor, and enjoy the waist and hip. Gaze to the left if that feels good to you. Come back to center with your gaze. Bring your knees back to center. Untangle shoulders. Uncross that left knee. Lower hands by your sides. Come into an easy bridge pose, lifting up your hips, shimmy shoulders underneath you. Grab the outer edges of your mat. Tug your mat towards your heels. Release your back. Huge breath in. Notice your throat and how squunched up it is here, and notice how often you might feel that at other times in the day. Recognizing that feeling so you're aware. Lift those hips up higher, knees energetically connect. Tug the mat a little bit farther towards your heels. Slowly release the mat. Untuck your shoulders and unroll your spine to the earth. Untuck shoulders, hug your knees in, rock massage. Let it feel good. Lower your feet to the floor. Soles of the feet come together, knees apart. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana and take a moment here. Notice if you'd like hands to belly with potentially a triangle diamond around the belly button, a hand to heart, hand to belly, double hand to heart, you choose. If you wish to tuck those blocks under your knees, feel free. And enjoy the breath. Take a moment here to relish this sense of maybe peace or ease in this moment. Connection to parts of you that know things or that maybe you haven't connected to in a long time. Perhaps taking that invitation from Rancho Compasión, let love roam throughout your body on the cellular level. Two more breaths here.
Bring your hands to your outer thighs and draw your knees together. And we'll stretch both legs long, coming into Shavasana, or final resting pose. And take a minute if you need a blanket or a bolster for under your knees or something to be comfortable. Let yourself get comfy and relax in, settling into the floor, to the earth beneath you, letting go of control. And for a few moments here, letting yourself rest and be and connect to you. Gently begin to deepen your breath. And slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes. Enjoy a delightful, delicious stretch, however that looks for you. And make your way up to a comfortable seat where we began. And allow yourself to drop right back into your body when you arrive here. Notice your sacrum on the floor, ischial spines reaching downwards. And bring a hand to heart, hand to belly, or two hands to heart, you choose, or hands to thighs. Notice what feels most steady and wise to you. Take in a big deep breath and a huge exhale. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all enjoy a week of connecting to yourselves and to your inner wisdom. May you all let love roam throughout yourselves, your communities, and farther afield. The light and love in me honor and reflect the light and love